like this concept of always be experimenting, but always stay true to like a very stern process. Like always have your process 100% dialed in. And you would think like to walk into a monastery and there's like these monks brewing beer that you wouldn't find like state-of-the-art technology and state-of-the-art laboratories, but like they were some of the first people to like actually like separate yeast cells, like to like actually make a pure yeast culture and stuff like that. So with certain types of yeast it was done before, which you might know more about. But so anyway, yeah, like at the same time they're very like strict with their process, but they and almost as like a being opposed to the German way of doing things, but Germany was just like everything beer has to be a certain way. You can't put any other ingredients besides these ingredients in it. And it has to be this way. And if you make it any other way, then you're actually going to be charged criminally. Like, it's insane, right? And it's still like there's this rule called the Reinheitsgebot, and it's like this German law of brewing. You have to brew it a certain way. But in Belgium, they like embrace creativity, and like their whole culture is about experimenting with flavors, and you know, like their baking and their chocolate and candies, they're all it's just all full of experimenting in that way. So when I kind of got into that, like that started to kind of make sense in the way we were writing our music. Like Oceanic's a very, like to some people to look at Oceanic, and maybe if you're just not into progressive rock or if you're just like more like structured styles of music, like it may seem chaotic and it may seem like there's no kind of rhyme or reason, but like everything's like really thought out and it has a place and there's a reason why the riff comes up after that riff, and you know it's really structured, but like there's a lot of like experimentation in just like the feeling of the music and just the way we put it all together. Like it doesn't have like a concrete basis in the way things have always been done, sort of thing. So that kind of just made sense, and I was brewing a lot of beer at the same time, and all these things just kind of really came together. And then at the same time, a bunch of astronomers from a Belgian it's called TRAPPIST-1
system.
Yeah, it was like
they named it.
Yeah, it was a system in Belgium, or it was run by people in Belgium or something. And a bunch of astronomers, I think, and they found this like solar system that had 7 planets in it, and this like number 7 just kept popping up everywhere all of a sudden. Like there was like 7 songs on our album.
7 notes in a musical scale.
There you go. Never thought of that. Huh?
Played 7 a lot.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Actually, the hour 4/4 is 7/8.
Yeah.
It's just like
drop an eighth.
Yeah, like I don't even feel 7 as like odd timing anymore.
No,
I'm sure
you just
you just
go whoop, you just jump one sooner than you would have.
Exactly right. So and it's not even that odd of a timing anyway.
Yeah,
but
it's not. Yeah.
No, it's a very like I find 7/8 more natural to me than 4/4. Oddly enough, just from playing in it for so long.
That's really interesting too, because I find I get really into groups of 5 for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of interesting how you can have different home rhythmically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And eventually they all feel really natural
Yeah.
to just experience playing them. But so many people are just listening to whatever's on the radio and probably don't even play an instrument or anything, and probably aren't looking into music in that way, and would never. They might hear Odd Time Signatures all the time, but they just would never even know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like Money by Pink Floyd, like
totally.
Classic example. It's natural, but
yeah, that's the real trick to it too, I think.
Yeah.
There's a groove to be found.
Yeah, for sure. Like there was a time where I really was getting off on just the fact that timings were complex.
Right.
I really enjoyed that. Like and like and I know it's like probably like a cerebral kind of thing for sure, and you know it's kind of looked down on by some musicians, but I was passionate about that, and that gave me a feeling. So either way you look at it, it's valid, right? But
absolutely,
I started to realize that like I was losing another musical sense by just focusing on that one area.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
It's the same thing as just like forgetting timings completely and just focusing on melody, or just, you know.
Until it comes time to set up the Pro Tools session. Set the click track with the different time signatures.
Yeah, then you're really like, oh. But we got around that one by just having guitar profiles for all of our songs and making a click to that.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did.
Oh, nice, yeah. And you just have it lined up.
It was weird though, because there was a lot of times, I think like halfway through the recording process of Travis, I started to do stuff in Guitar Pro. I actually started to write there too, because I'd never like written that way. But then like when we'd learn those parts, we'd play it as a band and it would change. But I didn't realize it because it was just so crazy timings. It'd be like 19 over 32 or something like that, like something crazy like that. And then, but like that's actually how we were playing it, but it wasn't written like that. So then when we were like, Cameron was playing along to like the Guitar Pro files, he was just like, this isn't right. I'm just like, no, it is, like. But I don't know who was right or who was wrong, but
well, there's definitely different ways to score anything. You could technically write everything in 4/4.
And that's the thing, I was like feeling it in a different way.
Yeah.
And then I'd write
especially
it
your guys' music, because there's so many different ways to feel it. There's so many different things going on.
Yeah.
We have this one song called the Sirac on that album, and I realized that you can really break the first riff into like, I'm trying to think of the count, but it's like I can feel it with like in 6, I can feel it in 7, and I can also feel it in 4. I think if I can count it in different ways. It depends on if you listen to the drums, the bass, or the guitar. There's the pulse of each instrument's slightly different.
Yeah.
Like Cameron plays pretty close to what the bass is doing, but he's got this hi-hat. I think he's playing the hi-hat or something that really changes up the feel for it. On the bass, I didn't even realize he was doing that.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah, it creates this experience as an audience member. I find, especially when different pulses are going on, 2 or 3 pulses or time signatures are going on in a song, you just feel like you're getting melted or pulled in 3 different directions at once, or the whole space-time continuum is collapsing and expanding or something.
Yeah.
Really feel, especially if you're on psychedelics and you go see a crazy band that does that shit, it really feels like reality is breaking. But it's great. I also feel quite attracted to rhythm for sure. And I definitely find the same downfall myself. I tend to not give a shit about harmony or melody. Just get so taken away by dank ass rhythms. But the point you make is so valid about you gotta have every aspect in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is something I've like thought about quite a bit, and just how I see music and how other people see music, and how, especially because like I'd come to Cameron with a riff and I'd just be like, holy fuck, this has such a cool feel to the riff, and then when he'd play a drum beat to it, and then I'd be like, oh wait, it doesn't have that. It was all in my head. You know what I mean? So then I started thinking, I was like, and like this weird thing has always happened to me. Like I'll be like, I turn on the radio and it's like halfway through a measure of a Rolling Stones song, and I'm hearing it on the backbeat. Like the offbeat is the on beat to me. And I'm just like, what's going on? Like, what's wrong with me? Like, this is crazy. Like, and then all of a sudden, like, an accent note would come in. I'm like, oh, okay, no, it's a regular old Rolling Stones song, right? But my mind's always done that. Like I'll just hear something in a completely opposite way, and then I'd show it to Cameron. He'd just lay a beat down to it, and I'd be like, oh no, this riff isn't cool. Like, this is just a normal riff.
But how did we meet? The night we did the show, Alex Rathel played with us, and he's like, he made it very apparent that I was overcomplicating the timing for this one part where we just kind of do this 4/4, doom doom doom.
Right, where he started playing.
And I was like, just let's make sure the counting's right. He's like, it's really easy, dude. It's just do 1/4/4. And I was like, he's right.
Especially Al, he's such a rhythmic genius. That's what you're talking about. Glen is weird. It's almost like it's like audio dyslexia or something.
Yeah. It's that I've never like come up with a word for it, or
I think I have.
That's a good way to That's a good way to put it.
I think I'm rhythm deaf.
Rhythm deaf.
Like I listen to Meshuggah. I can't understand it. Like it's like.
Yeah.
And Glen and Karen could show me the simplest riff when I first started playing Oceanic. Or Matt was trying to show me some stuff for Plural, and I just don't hear the rhythms at first. They don't really. I can't put them together right away.
That's so funny because I'm 100% rhythm based.
Yeah.
Me too. I find I have the worst time. Like ear training was like the hardest class for me in college. Just hearing scales and transcribing shit by ear. I was like, holy fuck. But I could transcribe the drum parts, no problem at all. It was effortless.
Yeah.
But
I'd say I would be the same way.
Yeah. Then I'm trying to break apart 4-part horn harmonies and shit. It's just pulling my hair out.
That's insane. Singing really helped me with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it does.
Actually hearing I noticed stuff I was singing before, I was actually a note off. You don't even really realize it, right? But then when I actually start listening to singers and then listening to what I was singing along with it, I start really honing in on it. Start to realize how much I wasn't really 100% focusing on what note they were going to.
I wonder how many people who go to those crazy world's greatest next best singer is going to show up and dominate everyone's ears for a while, and they go through all those crazy auditions. And people show up, and so many of them sincerely believe they can sing and sing well. Enough to go, they have a chance of winning.
It's the Emperor's New Clothes, dude.
Yeah.
Man, you're naked. No one's ever told you you're naked right now, but you're shit.
Yeah. Then they get told for the first time ever that they absolutely suck. And they literally thought they were the best at it. Maybe, who knows how much of their identity was surrounded around being a good singer.
I think
the whole world just collapses around them. They run away crying. Simon Cowell's a fucking piece of shit. But anyways, yeah, you're right. You don't really notice. It's like we talked about it before, I think on the New Year's Eve podcast, never really heard guitar solos until you started trying to learn them. Yeah. Just kind of sounded like this,
my whole first year playing guitar, because all I would do was listen to Iron Maiden, right? So, but, whatever, and try and crap along with the whatever song it was, and then whenever the solo came around, it was oh yeah, it's solo time. That was it. And it's really easy to forget if you're a musician that 9 times out of 10 people typically are that's what they do when they hear or listen to music. So.
The amount of times I see people tapping along to a song completely wrong, or varying in their pulse. It's most people, and this is one thing I find weird about music, is so many people claim to love music and say music is the reason they're alive, and which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, it's obviously something that resonates with almost everybody. But compared to someone who's taken the time to learn and play in bands and learn an instrument and all that, you don't hear music the same as a person who's just a casual music listener. But yet, most casual music listeners consider their opinion of music quite valid.
Yeah.
And they will argue
that applies to almost everything, too.
Oh, true. But I feel I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I don't know what it's like to be a dentist. How many of your patients are you're fucking my teeth up.
Yeah, exactly.
I could have done this way better.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with carpentry, man.
If
I go in to do a job, every homeowner knows, or
thinks that.
Yeah, every homeowner they always know more than me. And I'm just I'm the carpenter. You watch television. There's no comparison here. But
turn off TLC.
Where the difference is, and I think this can apply to music too, is I can't tell a homeowner what they like or should like. I can tell them what works and how it works, and why they're wrong about thinking that something works, right?
Yeah.
And I might know, okay, you only like this color of paint and walls this way just because you've seen it in a fucking magazine and you think that's what's hip and people are telling you exactly what to like. So this is why you have your fucking house the way it is, and you're gonna rot in the grave before you ever pay for it. But it's that can be applied to music as well. It's just like, you know, you really got to take an interest in things.